Hi everyone, it's Al again, checking in as promised. It is Saturday, January 19th at noon, and just wanted to check in and kind of give you a post-operative uh, kind of feeling of what you can expect. Uh, it was not just me who had surgery on Wednesday, it was another woman from the practice also had surgery, and we had very similar and also some differences in terms of the outcome. I was able to come home yesterday, and she was kept over for an extra day. But you know, the experience. I think it was the worst part was getting prepared for the surgery. Those hours before in the morning before they took you in. One of the things you're going to find out is the day of surgery, after you come out and you go into recovery, is going to be a blur. You're not going to remember much because you're going to be in a fog. The pain medication, like they gave us a synthetic version of morphine, and I think I used the little self plunger, that you use to kind of administer drugs when you need it, uh, 3 times during the entire day. Now, I was in recovery pretty much the entire day. I don't think I got up to my room until almost 7 o'clock at night, six something, because there's a flu epidemic going on, of course. And maybe this won't apply when you watch this video, but a lot of the rooms in the hospital were filled. They had entire wings, kind of sectioned off just for the flu. So very difficult, getting a bed. And Dr. Anushin and Dr. Sapala have special beds. They use the traction beds that have it kind of looks like a gymnasium, really, but it has the bars to help you kind of get up so you can position yourself in bed and things like that. So it's very good and conducive to the healing part of our surgery, because your stomach muscles are kind of all punctured, so it's hard to move around. Although I found that there wasn't a lot of pain from where those incisions were made. I found most of the pain was the waves of gas pain, and just like a wave of gas pain that just kind of rolls over you and makes you stop and hold your breath for a second, and then kind of alleviates and kind of goes down, and you feel a little bit better. One of the things you're going to go through, and I've watched a whole bunch of videos on the video sleeve gastrectomy, is you're going to have nausea. The good news is the nurses in the hospital are phenomenal. You mentioned you have nausea. Man, they are right there. They're giving it to you intravenously, and you feel the relief immediately. Now, when I was in the recovery, one of the things that I had done was I stopped using the pain medication for about, I think, 3 hours, because I wasn't really feeling a lot of discomfort from the surgery itself, which I thought was kind of amazing. I figured it'd be really, really bad. And I think I was going through like a withdrawal, and I got the dry heaves, and it was horrible. I swear to God, I thought I was going to blow one of my staples and start leaking. It was that bad. And I had several rounds of this. But the other person from the practice that had the same procedure, the same day, same doctors, everything, she had the nausea, but never had any of the dry heaves and stuff. So, two different types of outcomes, again, two different types of people. When they finally got me up to the ward, it was much better. The beds were so comfortable. They use these air mattress kind of beds that fill up as you shift your weight. And they put these things on your legs that basically inflate and deflate, kind of massaging your legs all night long, but it keeps the blood flowing through your legs. So in addition to the heparin, which kind of lightens your blood, makes it thinner so you don't have a clot, the doctors also prescribe this other thing with the legs to even lessen the possibility of getting a blood clot. So I think all the precautions that this doctors take, it's just phenomenal. And the other thing you're going to find out when you're staying at Brookhaven is the staff, the nurses, the registered nurses, the licensed practical nurses, the nurses' assistants love our doctors. And they work so well together that when one of their patients come on the ward, we're treated exceptionally well. I just, I've been in the hospital before, I've had surgeries, and I've never had the kind of experience. People are right there. The second I had a problem, man, they were there. I needed some pain meds. Boom, they were right there. It was phenomenal. So I think you're going to really, enjoy that kind of personalized attention that we get as being patients of Dr. Sapala and Dr. Anush. So a lot of credibility built up there. One of the things I would suggest you don't do is, at least for me anyway, they had these lemon swabs with a glycerin. It tasted like a lemonade thing to kind of moisten your mouth, because the day of surgery, you can't drink anything. And they don't want to chance any leaks. So they won't give you anything to drink until the next day, when they can do an upper GI and make sure that nothing is leaking. So these lemon swabs help keep your mouth moist. And what I found was that actually triggered some of the nausea and some of the heaving that I had. So if I could suggest anything, use a cloth to clench down on and get some moisture out of it, a wet cloth, and not use the lemon swabs. Although you may have no problems with it. So it could be just, the way I reacted. So the first day, like I said, was a blur, waves of nausea, but not a lot of pain from the actual surgery itself, I found. I found it was much more from the waves of the gas, I think. That was the most painful. Thursday, this is the 17th. This is the first full day in the hospital. Did not sleep very well, because the guy next to me had some major issues, and between my issues and his, there was a nurse and lights going on every hour. So, barely slept. When I did sleep, you had the waves, but the pain wasn't bad. They gave us this liquid Tylenol, which apparently is part of the recovery. So there was no heavy medication. You still had the pain pump to give you a shot of sulfamorphine. I stayed the hell away from that after my experience in the recovery room. But the liquid Tylenol was amazing. It was basically IV fed, and it really helped me with the pain throughout the night. I did not feel intense pain at all, and I did not expect that at all. I expected it to be pretty rough the first night in the hospital, and it wasn't. The worst part was probably the upper GI in the morning. Well, actually, that's probably the number one. That was probably the worst. The second worst was taking the catheter out. I've never had a catheter before, but let me tell you, it was nice not having to think about getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, or even trying to use a urinal or something else, a bedpan. The upper GI, the only thing I could say to you is it stinks. I mean, basically what they do is they can't give you barium. Like normally you hear about an upper GI, they give you barium and they take pictures, and the barium you can actually swallow, and it's not horrible. This stuff smells like household cleaner and tastes worse. I can't even describe the taste. It's a sour, nasty, horrible taste. I could barely keep it down. I did not heave, though. I was really, really worried about heaving, especially the night before. But what they do is they put you on a table, and they bring you like at a 45-degree angle, and then they give you this liquid to drink, and they literally watch you live on a X-ray machine, and they could see the liquid passing through your stomach and then into your surrounding colon. So they could see that the liquid is indeed not penetrating outside your stomach wall. So they do that at an angle. Then they have you lay on your side and do some more, and then they tip you backwards to make sure that you're not having any reflux, that it's not going back out the other side. The whole procedure lasts maybe 10 minutes. So it's not horrible. I didn't heave. I didn't get sick. It was horrible, nasty stuff. And the woman that was with me that had the procedure just before me, same surgery as we did with Dr. Anush, she didn't get sick either. So it's going to be nasty, horrible, and that's going to be the worst part of your day. Believe it or not, that's going to be the worst part of your day. The best part was getting back to the ward and then being able to walk around. I can't tell you, of all the videos that I watched, the key thing that people kept mentioning over and over and over again was to walk. That walking helps break up the gas inside your stomach and help relieve that gas pain. The waves of pain that you feel really helps with the walking. Thursday, the most I could really muster was getting up about every hour. So I tried to make sure that I got up every hour, whether I felt like it or not, whether I was tired or not. and just got up and walked around. Um, and it helped a lot. The thing that I had to do though is I had to take a pillow and like put it over my stomach because I felt like the outward pressure of standing up made the incisions hurt. So I basically walked around with a it was like a head pillow that they used during the surgery, this little brick thing, and I used that to kind of act as a splint against my stomach to, do some counter pressure. And I felt that that helped me get up and walk around. But every time I did get up and walk around, even though I was a little tired and kind of out of it when I got back to the room, I felt much better. I also brought on more waves of burping. The burping, it's kind of painful when you go through the burping and stuff. You're going to see a lot of burping and kind of like hiccups kind of stuff. Um, but it actually helps. It helps get the gas out. And that was pretty much the whole day. Is they brought me, lunch and dinner. If you call it lunch and dinner, it was broth, Jello, apple juice, and tea. One of the things I will tell you is that the warm liquids go down a lot easier. They gave me some ice water, and it felt like I was swallowing glass. It really hurt and cramped my stomach as I was swallowing the cold water. So I found that the broth, well, it wasn't the best broth in the world. It went down a lot smoother. I really liked having a cup of tea. I let it steep and then cool down a little bit, and then drank it just, when it was above room temperature. It was warm but not hot. That still, and the gas still comes, so it's going to be a while. So sorry about that. But the tea really helps a lot. I'll talk about tea a little bit more when we get past Thursday. The Jello, you could feel every swallow. That's the only way to describe it. Is you could feel your entire digestive tract, I guess, when you go through this. So every swallow with the Jello, because it had a little substance to it, you can feel it go all the way down into your stomach, and then it hits a spot where it gets a little gnarly, and you feel like a little twisted feeling, and then it settles down. I'm discovering that it's pretty normal for this stage of what we're going through. So that was pretty much it. Didn't really, I got rid of the morphine drip right away, the morphine pain pump. And I asked the doctor for Vicodin. I've had Vicodin in the past, and I went for the lowest dosage of it because I didn't want to get that narcotic thing where I had a withdrawal and might heave again. I've had problems with Percocet in the past and did not want to go through that. The heaving part with what we just went through is the worst thing that can happen to you. It's the worst pain. So not having to do that. So I went with the Vicodin, and that worked really, really well. I had that Thursday night, and I did about 10 o'clock at night, and I didn't wake up. Now, thankfully, the guy next to me was moved out earlier in the evening, so I had the bed next to me empty, and the nurses got all their stuff done by 10 o'clock, so I didn't have any prodding, and I didn't wake up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I felt amazing. I was able to get myself out of bed and go to the bathroom. No issues. I was able to go back to bed and fall back asleep. Now, at that point, I was waking up every hour and a half or so it wasn't the blissful sleep that I had in the beginning, but, I didn't have the intense pain. The waves of gas still kind of came over, but not as frequent and not as harsh. And it was a real pleasant night. I woke up at 8:30 in the morning on Friday and just felt amazing. The first thing I did, of course, is, you get up and you go to the bathroom and so forth. And I took a walk around the ward again. Didn't need to use the pillow this time. Now, unfortunately, my teammate who was going through the procedure, she had like really, really intense nausea. So she never really got that kind of relief that I was lucky enough to be able to get through all of this stuff. So I was able to walk around without the pressure that I had, so I didn't need to have the pillow with me. And when they brought the breakfast around, I was able to actually, believe it or not, enjoy some of it. The breakfast doesn't come with the broth in the morning, but it came with the Jello. It came with the tea. Again, the warm tea, so comforting. Especially now that I'm home, I really am enjoying the warm tea. And the Jello went down a lot easier. Like you didn't have that hard stop, kind of wait for the burn to get, to go down, and then, have a little bit more. So, not really bad at all. I got out of the hospital around, and then what I did is I started walking every half hour until my wife came to pick me up, and we were discharged at 2 o'clock. So I had lunch there again. Again, lunch went a lot easier. The broth was much more palatable than it was the day before. And just a really, really good experience for me. Now, unfortunately, my teammate didn't have that. She stayed an extra night because of the nausea. But I'm sure that as the gas pain goes down, the nausea goes down, because I noticed that when in the very beginning I had a lot of gas pain, a lot of nausea, and as I walked around more, less and less gas pain, less and less nausea. I felt more nauseous when I was in bed for an extended period of time because you didn't walk around and kind of move that your body around to kind of break it up a little bit. So came home yesterday, and everything was good. One of the things I did do is I asked the nurse to give me a shot of the nauseous medicine. I forget the name of the stuff, before I left the hospital. About almost 20 minutes, 30 minutes before we left the hospital. And it was a good thing because the ride home, you don't realize how much your body gets jostled around in the car until you've had all these incisions. And let me tell you, having that nausea medication really helped, because you do get jostled around. As light as my wife was driving really slow. We have a nice car, but still every little motion you feel. So I recommend that you get your nauseous shot before you leave the hospital, just to be on the safe side. So now that I'm home, I cannot believe the night that I had. Went to bed around 11:30 last night. I took the Vicodin because I was feeling again a little more gassy. So I took the Vicodin. We had to crush it up because Dr. Anoush doesn't want you taking any real solid pills right now. Doesn't want to get anything stuck in your digestive tract right now, because things are still healing up and so forth. And I slept till 5:30 in the morning. Now, as you know from the first video, I had diabetes. I was getting up 3 times a night. I was getting up at 1 o'clock, 3:30ish, 5:45 in the morning, and I woke up at 5:30 for the first time to go to the bathroom, and then I came back to bed. I was able to sleep on my side, which I never thought I'd be able to do, and I slept till 8:30 in the morning. I haven't slept like that in years. I can't remember the last time I slept that long. When I woke up and took my blood sugar was 79. My blood sugar has not been 79 in years. I mean, we're talking 5-6 years for a morning like fasting kind of glucose. That was astounding to me. And my blood sugar has been below 100 all day long. Now, granted, I'm all on liquids, not doing any kind of carbohydrates and things like that. But the fact that my blood sugar is in the normal range and I'm not taking insulin to kind of have to compensate for it is something that's what I kind of went for. I mean, this is what I was really shooting for this procedure, was to take care of that diabetes and to really do something. I'm hoping it's going to stay this way, but for right now, I'm about as pleased as I can get. So the only thing I'm going to do is for a suggestion is, key things: get up as quickly as you can. The upper GI is going to be nasty, but you're going to get through it. It's like 9 minutes long. You're going to be really, really quick. It's a hard thing, but once you're done, your catheter's out. You can walk around, walk. Keep forcing yourself to drink, even though it hurts. It does hurt to drink. Force yourself to drink, because you need to stay hydrated, and you need to kind of keep in that mode once you get home, because you don't want to get dehydrated and then go back to the hospital again. So that's it for now. I took a shower this morning. It felt great to take a shower. And I think what I'm going to do now is take my dog out for a very short walk and see how that goes. And I'll check back with you guys at probably my 1 week and let you know how the rest of this week went and the weekend. Anyway, that's for it. And good luck. And excuse me. Talk to you again soon.